Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Flight Zone. Hit that like, comment throughout the show, subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell or hit the bell so you can get the notifications whenever we go
Smash
live.
the bell.
Smash the bell or ring the bell, whatever it is nowadays. It should still be ring, in my opinion.
Let's go! This ain't the fuck like oh, this thing he stinks!
Oh shit!
It's gone!
What is up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Flight Zone, brought to you by FanUp. FanUp is the best way to enjoy fantasy sports, daily NBA contests, and more. Win great prizes. Sign up today. Sign up. You got 2 hours, 3 hours before Game 5 tips off. So sign up before then. You get 5,000 bonus points using the promo code A2D, and that is a $50 value. Go build yourself a lineup for tonight. Go all out on the Warriors. Warriors winning the championship. Do some tweaking with some of their stats and make yourself some money off of free money. So check them out. Today we got a lot on the show to offer you guys. We got Phillies and Marlins. Phillies kicking off a series against the 3-game set against the Marlins, and then they have a 5-game set against the Nationals. So I'm hoping that they could go 6-2. I'm praying that 7-1 is a realistic possibility. 5-3, I'm gonna be I think after the stretch, you got to be above more than 2 games above 500. So I think 6-2 is the goal that I want them to hit for these next 2 series. We'll talk about that. We'll also talk about some Sixers, maybe throw in some Eagles as well. When the Flyers become somewhat relevant, maybe we can start talking about the orange and the black. I can't believe you're wearing a Flyer shirt, dude.
Dude, this is my bed shirt. I don't even care about it.
Nobody can see it but your sheets.
Yep. No bed shirt.
So, poll of the night. It's going to tie in the Phillies and the Sixers. Poll of the day brought to you by Public Araya Adjusting. Araya Public Adjusting, I'm sorry. Do you have damage to your home or property? We may be able to help. Don't fight your homeowner's insurance alone. Contact Araya Public Adjusting at 813-564-3364. They are licensed in Florida, Pennsylvania, as well as 13 other states. So make sure you check them out if you need some fixing on your home or property. The poll of the day. It's an interesting one. I think it's going to be disagree all around because the Phillies aren't poster childs yet. But the Philadelphia Phillies set the standard for what a Philadelphia team needs to do in the offseason. So we all know what they did in the offseason. They've tried to re-bolster the bullpen now 4 years in a row, and it's just not that – it's not good enough, to be completely honest. I mean, they have 2 legit arms coming out, and that's Brad Hand, who struggled his last outing, and Sir Anthony Dominguez, who they're not using the right way. And Sir Anthony's been a fan favorite here on the Flight Zone for years now.
Yep.
He showed some fire in 2018, and then he just went MIA from Tommy John or whatever it was for 3 years. So I think he needs to be the closer. He needs to be the closer. You need to stop just messing around with this Corey Knebel stuff, and Knebel can find his way in the 7th inning or 8th inning whenever he gets healthy. In my opinion, my humble opinion. Just getting to the poll, what they did this offseason, they tried rebolstering the lineup or the bullpen. They kept the same starting rotation, and hey, the starting rotation's been top 5 in the MLB this year. So the rotation's been good. I think they need to move Ranger to that long reliever role, maybe bring in another 5th starter. They need to go get a center fielder if Moniak doesn't work out. So I'm saying you just play Moniak until the All-Star break, and if he isn't it, then go get a Brian Reynolds, go get a Byron Buxton, or go get a Cedric Mullins. Go get one of those guys. And And then, of course, they added the power. They added Castellanos and they added Kyle Schwarber. And hey, Castellanos has been struggling. I don't think he's going to be like this the rest of the season. But the bottom line is John Middleton spent money and he went over the luxury tax. Mm-hmm. So if you want to talk about those for standards, going out of your way to try and make this team as good as possible, then yeah, I'll agree. But I'm going to have to disagree just for the simple fact that they held on to Matt Klentak and Andy McPhail for way too long. Those two absolutely just ruined the farm system, and that's why we can't really go land big names at the trade deadline because we have nothing to offer. Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm going to have to disagree to this poll, just for the simple fact that they have nothing in the minor leagues. Their bullpen is still very average, and they spend a lot of money on guys that like to strike out. And I'm not trying to bash the Phillies today. I think they're going to be a playoff team. I obviously applaud them for their 9-game win streak. I think Rob Thompson, he's a good fit. Great fit. It seems like the guys are playing for him. But when it comes to the offseason, I don't think the Sixers should do anything close to what the Phillies done because, first of all, it's two different sports. I mean, you could just spend money out of your ass in baseball. You can't do that in basketball. Yep. I'll get into what I think the Sixers should do. But the Sixers, if this poll was set for the Philadelphia Sixers, set the standard for what a Philadelphia team needs to do in the offseason, it's 100% disagree because they've done nothing but strike out all season after all season. And that's why they have a different team every single trade deadline, every single midseason. There's a different starting lineup. So I'm going to disagree on the Phillies aspect, and we'll get into the Sixers talk later. But what do you think about the Phillies? What do you think they've done so far? And just your overall just fixture on what you think they've done.
Well, I didn't hate getting Castellanos, Schwarber, Bradham, all those other dudes. I think that the standard they set was a good example of paying the extra money to go out and try to win a championship. However, you got it in the wrong places. And this spans back to 3 years ago, even 3 years ago. Signing JT, I thought signing JT was an amazing thing. Giving Gregorius a lot of money too, like a decent amount of money. You sign all these position players and all these guys who can hit balls sometimes. However, just the pitching, you didn't get the pitching. So, like, I'll definitely disagree to this. This is like if the Sixers go out and get another guard, or if they go out and get like it was. I would say it was kind of like the Sixers when they had the big lineup with Al Horford. Like you already got what you need when it comes to the big guys who can hit home runs or dunk the basketball. But when it comes to like when it comes to pitching, I just think that there was moves there that could have been done, but were given to other players. And like it's hard to agree to this poll because the Phillies did have a good offseason, but it wasn't. I wouldn't say it's a championship offseason.
Yeah,
they didn't fill the gaps they needed to fill. So,
yeah. No, yeah, I hear you. I mean,
like the Sixers with the bench. Like this would be like the Sixers without a bench, the Phillies without a bullpen. It's the same shit every year.
Yeah, I mean, we always find those guys that we want to pick on when it comes to this bullpen. Last year, it was the names of like Christopher Sanchez. I mean, we always picked on Hector, but Hector was probably their most consistent arm coming out of the bullpen for however many years. And you just had guys like that just were just there. And every time you saw their face, you knew they were going to give up a solo shot. You knew they were going to give up a walk to open up the inning. And those guys are starting to develop. Like Andrew Bellotti stinks. James Norwood stinks. Christopher Sanchez still stinks.
Yep.
Bailey Falter stinks. Like that. And the sad part is, like, we're just going to live with it because – like, what else can this management do? Like they got so hamstrung by the Klentak regime that just came in here and just ruined all aspects of sports and just took the energy out of the room. It was just horrible to see. It was horrible to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, right, dude. And yeah, but it sucks because you really can't do anything about it. It's like it's kind of similar to what the Sixers went through right before the playoffs started. We didn't have a bench.
Yeah,
And
we haven't had a bench for years since the process started.
Exactly. And you
Every
want to
trade
go land
deadline,
all
you
these
traded away your bench pieces
you
to get a
want
new
to
star to
everyone
play
wanted
next
to
to your
land all
guy.
these big names like Nick, like Schwarber, but you had other gaps to fill that were hurting you more than the hitting was. The hitting really wasn't an issue last year. It really wasn't. And the beginning of the season, it really like you saw they can go through slumps and then with the Sixers, like I want to correlate this with other teams, but like the Eagles, they had a great offseason. I thought they had a great offseason.
Yeah,
There's a few weird signings like Barnett and other signings that could have happened that didn't happen, but I'm not going to complain at all. I think that should be the standard. The Eagles offseason we just had should be a standard. You get the young guys, you get players who know how to play, and you're just smart. I'm not saying Howie's that guy, but I mean, he's probably a better GM right now than anybody on the Flyers or anybody on the Phillies.
yeah,
So,
yeah. I totally agree. I think the Eagles should be the standard, especially what they did this offseason. I mean,
mhm,
every single offseason we've been begging him since basically they drafted Carson to go get wide receivers, go go get a defense, go get a linebacker. And
mhm,
I think they looked themselves in the mirrors. They got away from the nerd talk and they wanted to strictly look at the X's and O's aspect of football. And they just decided to go out this offseason and get a wide receiver because they needed one. They went out and got a linebacker and I'm talking middle linebacker. They got one in the Kobe Dean.
oh
They
hell
got one.
yeah, yep,
I think he's going to be an all pro in this league. I
you think so
size, in my opinion, size doesn't matter when it comes to linebacker anymore. Pause, middle linebacker anymore.
too?
It honestly doesn't, especially when you want
Yeah,
to transition to that 3-4 defense, because
yeah, oh, yep,
because the position players on the offensive side of the ball, they're just freaks in nature. So you need guys of the size of Nakobe Dean to go out and cover him,
absolutely,
and
yeah,
he's not going to get punked by anybody. I
yeah.
mean, he played
This is yeah,
at a top level uh, college in the nation, and he
yeah,
was the leader of the best defense in the nation.
exactly. He was like the quarterback of that defense
He
too.
was, yeah, he
I mean,
was.
and it's a breath of fresh air because like you went from having all these bum linebackers who couldn't guard anybody, but honestly, like he's fast enough to cover a tight end. He might be a little small, but what like he's gonna have to have some very athletic
Well, yeah,
to get over him like
and,
that.
and he could definitely stay in the middle of that field and jab those tiny little slot receivers that are
Yep,
running crosses or slants over the middle.
yep,
Like he's gonna mess with them. He's gonna screw
yeah.
them up. He's gonna mess
Just
up
like
their routes.
Parsons, just like Parsons, man. Like that's what I'm seeing in a Kobe Dean, and I'm hoping that Kobe Dean can live up to.
Yeah,
You know?
he's not necessarily going to be the pass rusher that
Yeah, no.
the only aspect that Dean is missing that Parsons has is Parsons can be any linebacker at any level. He
Hmm.
could be that outside linebacker in the 3-4. He can move up to play Mike. He could move up to play Will.
Yep.
He could do Sam. He got all those things.
Hmm.
If Nakobe Dean was able to pass rush the way that Parsons pass rushed, and if Nakobe Dean showed that in college, he would have been a top 10 pick.
Yeah. Yep.
But I'm totally okay with him just coming into this defense, transitioning to the 3-4. You added Hassan Reddick.
Hmm.
You added Jordan Davis, who's going to be Fletcher Cox's predecessor. You still have Hargrave. I mean, people are going to bash the Barnett signing. He's only going to be a rotational piece,
Yep.
in my opinion. I mean, you still got Graham, who's going to be playing inside and outside, pending his health with his Achilles. You
Yep.
still have Josh Sweat.
Wawa meal must
Yeah.
the
So
Josh Sweat Wawa meal. Come on. Yep.
the Bryce Harper Dairy Queen meal.
Yeah.
So the Eagles are, and they went out and got a very like all pro talent, not all pro, but Pro Bowl talent cornerback to play opposite of Darius Slay and James Bradbury.
Mm-hmm.
The only position in need that is still out there is safety. Like, are you really going to go throw out Kayvon Wallace or Marcus Epps there to start? And honestly, I think Marcus Epps is the best safety on the team right now, because I think Anthony Harris is just hot garbage.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to gripe over the fact that they are literally only missing one position on this football team right now out of 24 positions.
Yeah, because most likely those safeties are just going to be double teaming a player that doesn't absolutely need to be like double team. Like if Slay's going up against like a top wide receiver, he's going to go help Slay out. He's going to go help Bradbury out. Like I'm not worried with those two guys. And I feel like the safety is probably one of the least valuable positions on a defense. If you really think about it, they really do is, I mean, they'll go in coverage on some players and even the deep threats, but shit, like I'd rather be missing that than a linebacker or
100%
a defensive lineman. I'm not worried too, because we have one of the best defensive linemen in the game. And if they're pressuring the quarterback, the quarterback's just going to sling it and hope for the best.
Yeah.
So,
and don't forget,
every blind squirrel finds its nut, like you said.
Yeah, and don't forget that in this 3-4 defense, you're still going to have Avonte Maddox playing a lot of snaps as that slot corner. So you're not going to necessarily have those 3 interior D tackles, or you're not necessarily going to have those 2 linebackers playing at the second level. Like Avonte Maddox is going to be getting some probably 67% of the snaps, maybe.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So you still got that aspect where you'll have 3 legit secondary members back there in Bradbury, Maddox, and Slay. And then the bottom line is there's still safeties that are pro safeties in this league that are still in free agency. I mean, you got Tayshaun Gibson, Landon Collins, Jaquiski Tart, who was the San Francisco guy, who I would love to have him. He was a difference maker on that San Francisco defense for a lot of years now. So you maybe go get him in July, maybe even as late as early August. Like I'm as happy as can be, because every single position you have a pro football player out there.
Yep.
And I don't even want to say it because I've been a jinx lately, but I just don't see a way how we lose this division. Even if Jalen plays the way that he played last year, and there's no improvement in the arm, but if he's still running around getting 70 yards on the ground just like that in this type of offense, and then every once in a while you throw it over the top to A.J. Brown, or you throw it over the top to Quez Watkins, or you find Devontae Smith open in space going across the middle, or you have Dallas Goedert, and he's completing 16 out of 24 for the game, and if he's like that, takes care of the ball, which at times he wasn't taking care of the ball last year, but I think he's going to benefit greatly from the fact that he has a great support system in that coaching room, in the QB room, when it comes to Gardner Minshew being a great backup, when it comes to his quarterback coach that's been his coach since his high school days, when it comes to the offensive coordinator being the one calling the plays, and Shane Steichen, and when it comes to Nick Sirianni, who's just been all around a great football coach. So that support system, I don't see any way that Jalen digresses from last year.
Yeah.
And if he stays the same, I still think we get into the playoffs, and I think we are a better football team than the Dallas Cowboys. I think we win this division.
Yeah, I can see it too. It's just like the Cowboys didn't get that much. Like they probably got worse this offseason by losing Cooper. I know there were some talks about them getting DK Metcalf. I really don't think so. But yeah, they didn't get better. And
they got worse.
Significantly better.
They got worse. I think losing Cedric Wilson, losing Amari Cooper, obviously, and quite frankly, overpaying for Michael Gallup, who is a good receiver when he's on the field. Yeah, when he's on the field, he's a good receiver. I wouldn't say he's above he's slightly above average when he's on the field. and you paid him that type of money, and then you only get a 5th-round pick for Amari Cooper when all these receivers are going out getting paid after they're getting traded. Like Hollywood Brown, a 1st-round pick for Hollywood Brown, and you're saying you only got a 5th-round pick for Amari Cooper?
Yeah, it's scammed. Yeah,
unbelievable.
And they're gonna have to pay Lamb soon too.
Yeah, they're gonna and look, I love CeeDee Lamb. I wanted us to get CeeDee Lamb. But losing Amari Cooper is going to hurt CeeDee Lamb. Losing Cedric Wilson is going to hurt CeeDee Lamb. Not having 2/5 of that offensive line, and that's going to go back into Dak Prescott's face. Yep. That's going to hurt CeeDee Lamb.
They're going to be in trouble.
Another year of all those miles on Ezekiel Elliott. That's going to hurt CeeDee Lamb.
The only thing that's really positive for them is Pollard having that great season last season.
Yeah, and their defense. Their defense. At times, I think the national media overrated the hell out of their defense, but their defense isn't anything to joke about. Like, they're solid defense. They cause turnovers. But we saw Trayvon Diggs get burnt a lot on that second move. You want to talk about
most interceptions, but also the most yards on him this season or last season.
That's such a Philly stat, though. Like I'm shocked he's not an Eagle because that is such a Philly stat.
Yeah, I feel like that's something Slay would do, but Slay can do his thing this season. I hope the best. I hope he does.
I just can't wait till week 3 when so and so go. I think week 3 might be the Redskins or the Commanders. I can't wait till week 3 when Scary Terry just torches Slay and you're in our group chats and you're in on the Flight Zone come Monday. Just absolutely destroying Slay because you're a Slay slanderer. Say that 10 times.
I'm a fair weathered fan when it comes to Darius Slay. I'm sorry. I just want to see.
You're a fair weather fan when it comes to a lot of people in this city.
If I see 2 good years from him, I'll be happy. If I see a so-so year like he had 2 years ago, no, we're not paying that much money for that. I know he's not getting top 5 money. I don't care. You could have other guys back there, and I do not care.
So,
and I hate safeties and cornerbacks. I hate them. I can't stand them.
I just have a question. Out of all the slop that you and I have witnessed in our lives, our short 21-year lives, would you rather have Darius Slay out there rather than anybody else? I mean, you go through it. Like, honestly.
He's not – I know he's not slop, but –
since Asante Samuel, the 3 main guys were Lito Shepherd, Sheldon Brown, and Asante Samuel in this century. And then after that, what did you have? I mean, Brandon Boykin was the best one, and he was a slot guy.
Awesome.
Okay, 2 years of just putrid. You want to talk about stealing money?
Yeah.
Byron Maxwell, stealing money.
Rasul Douglas.
Kerry Williams, Rasul Douglas. And Rasul was okay. But
he was okay. He's doing great now. He's doing great just now.
But all these slop names, I mean, Sidney Jones, who whatever happened. I don't even know what happened. Like, it just incompetence in the front office when it came to the cornerback position. And then they finally went out and they traded a 3rd rounder for him?
Yeah.
3rd or 4th rounder for him?
Yeah.
And then you paid him you paid him handsomely. But he's not getting top-notch cornerback payment right now.
Yeah.
So Kerry Williams, Bradley Fletcher, who else? Jaquette. Like, we're talking about all these guys, Evan, and then you want to just slander Slay the second he has a bad game.
I know, because I expect a lot from him.
You shouldn't have any expectations when it comes to the quarterback position for the Philadelphia Eagles. With all the names I just listed.
That's because people are overrating the hell out of him.
Yeah, because of everything we've seen. Like, I wanted to pay Brandon Boykin a handsome amount of money, and he was a slot guy.
Yeah.
Because that was the best quarterback play I've seen in a while.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. We'll see. Good luck, Darius.
I'll
be watching.
What did we call him 2 years ago? Below average play Slay?
Yeah.
Bad
play Slay. Bad play Slay. we have a bunch of nicknames for him. But no, I do hope he does well, so he keeps me quiet.
Yeah, we all do for the sake of the AT&T talk chat.
All right, you're talking about week 3, but we're gonna have you on silence that game if something happens.
I mean, I already gave you my schedule predictions. I win 2 against the commies.
I wish. I hope.
No, we're gonna lose both games.
Oh, I thought you said. Oh no, I don't think so.
Evan, it's so Philadelphia.
It's
not even my Carson Wentz fandom. It's the fact that he's going to show us up in game 1 in Washington, where we're probably gonna overtake that field. He's going to shut us up, and then 8 weeks later, he's going to make his triumphant return to the Link, and it's going to be all hyped up like that Nets game, like that Nets Sixers game when Ben came back wearing the Louis Vuitton Penguins jersey.
Yep.
The ugliest sweater I've ever seen in my entire life.
I saw in person. It was so ugly.
Yeah. We're going to build that up, and we're going to lose. I'm not saying we're going to...
I know. I can see it, Bounds. I can't see us getting swept, but I can definitely see us losing at home. Mm-hmm. Most definitely.
Yeah.
And now, who knows? The stakes might be high that week.
Now, let me say this. If there was a game in Week 18 where it was the Commanders versus the Eagles for the division, I think Carson Wentz chokes up a nightmare right there. Because, I mean, I'll be fair. He chokes.
Thank you.
So, if it was Week 18, I would go Eagles all the way. But
yeah,
that hyped up November game that always happens every year for the Eagles, that it's going to be that game where we choke it away.
What was last year's game? Was that like the Dallas game?
Well, last year was kind of weird just because once the schedule turned for us and we started playing those horrible, like the Trevor Siemian, that was a November game.
Yeah.
And every other game, we didn't really build up, like the Justin Herbert game, the Charger game at home. That was, I don't think anybody expected us to win that game.
No.
Like last year was such like an enigma when it comes to like Eagles truisms, per se, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, it will definitely be different this season, most definitely, with all the stories going on. But
yeah, so yeah, I mean, if the poll, Joe, what's going on, everybody? Let's just take a second to appreciate our fans. Philly Sports Passion, Brian Daly of Hockey Happy Hour. Make sure you check them out tomorrow night. Stanley Cup coming, Colorado versus Tampa. I'm going Tampa for the three-peat.
Yeah. They're the modern day Warriors. That's what they are. They're the Warriors of the.
Well, the Warriors are still the Warriors because the Warriors are winning too. Book it. What's up, Greg? Joe says overrated Logan Thomas and Scary Terry and no run game. The Commanders are going to be a good football team. I mean, let's not forget they spent 4 first-round draft picks years in a row on a defensive line. When it comes to Jonathan Allen, Darren Payne, Chase Young, and then whoever the other guy was,
Sweat,
Montez Sweat, yeah.
Yep.
And then linebackers aren't too bad either. I think it's Tanner Holcomb, maybe is his name. I don't know, but they got decent amount of players. They rebuilt the secondary. They got another receiver in that first round, the Penn State guy. And Terry McLaurin arguably is as good as AJ Brown. Arguably.
Yeah.
And then they have a great 1-2 punch with Antonio Gibson and JD McKissick. So I think they're a solid team. It's going to depend on Wentz. But yeah, going back to the poll. By the way, Eagles Talk brought to you by Gleason's Bar. Gleason's Bar is located at 6700 Mill Creek Ave in Levittown, PA. Use the promo code A2D for 10% off your order whenever you dine in, take out, or order online. That is Gleason'sBarandSteak.com. So head to that bar, sign up for Fan Up, and once you go to that bar and watch the NBA Finals tonight, just tell them A2D. We're with them, and they'll give you 10% off your order. So check them out.
Yep. I don't know if did you hear what I said at the end of that sentence? I don't know. The Wi-Fi kind of cut out.
No.
I said that week 8. No, what is it? Week 17 or 16 game against Washington. Whatever week it is, whatever the last game we play them at home.
Oh, that's going to be in November, so that's probably going to be like week 12, I think.
12. Yeah. So yeah, somewhere around. I was saying it's all about who. It's not about who does better about Carson Wentz and Hurts.
Oh yeah,
It's who does worse.
but
Like who will out shit each other.
But you know that the dial, that the national media, every platform, that game isn't going to be about who wins. That game is going to be about which quarterback looked better.
Yeah, dude.
And it's going to be inevitable. I mean, we could tell ourselves that we're not going to do that. We're only going to strictly talk business. We're strictly going to talk about who won the game.
Yeah.
But you know damn well at that Monday, whatever date it is, Monday
17.
Monday. Oh well, it's a Monday night game.
Oh
So
shit!
We're gonna be leading up to it, and then
Yeah.
I'm sure we're gonna have live reactors.
Yeah.
But that the Tuesday, whatever two shows that on, I don't think we'll have any shows Tuesday. I mean, it'll be hockey happy hour. But that A2D Wednesday night, they're gonna be talking about Jalen Hurts and Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
That's gonna be the main topic of the show.
Big week that week.
So yeah, it's gonna be a fun one, to say the least. That's probably my most anticipated game I've ever, besides Super Bowl talk. Besides a big playoff game, when it comes to any four of the teams, that's probably the most anticipated regular season game I've ever wanted to be to watch.
Oh yeah, yep. So it's gonna be interesting to see Carson back in the link.
Yeah,
I mean, I think it was a few days ago. I saw the post where he was saying like, we were the most passionate fans that he has had. Well, I mean, that's not really. That's a small sample size when you compare it to pretty much one other team.
To the state of North Dakota.
Yeah, maybe that. But no. Oh, jeez. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
That's my burner.
Yeah. Ginger Jesus. That's funny.
All right, so just veering back to the poll, because I know we said that the Eagles set the standard for what a Philadelphia team needs to do, because the Eagles did everything that they needed to do this offseason to make themselves a contender, to make themselves an NFC contender, or at least an NFC East contender. Like they filled out the holes in the roster. And that's what you need to do. I mean, the Phillies have done it position by position each year, and that's just not going to work. Now, if you tell me they're going to go get a fourth or fifth starter, if you tell me they're going to go get a reliever, and if you tell me they're going to go get a center fielder, then yeah, I think they set the standard.
Yeah.
But let's switch this to the Sixers, because we can maybe argue the Phillies set the standard, but I think the Eagles definitely 100% set the standard. The Sixers don't even the Sixers should honestly be like the Flyers. I think they should honestly be worse than the Flyers, because you and I and a lot of people in this city had the Flyers in the playoffs this year with what they did in the offseason last year, and it just didn't work out. It seemed like they went and got positions in need. They filled out that defense, but they just didn't have that grit. They didn't have that toughness. They didn't have the scoring. They had a lot of injuries, but they at least went out and made us happy during the offseason. And obviously it didn't work. When it comes to the Sixers team, it's the same shit, different year, all year, every year since they traded away Drew Holiday. There's always a significant problem with this basketball team. A significant problem.
Yeah. And like I feel like we're the best thing this offseason that maybe happened to us is like there's a movie that was directed in Philly. with Adam Sandler in it. That's gonna be the best thing that happens. What's up, Greg?
I'm gonna I'm gonna watch it sometime this week, and we can maybe discuss it.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to spoil
It
it
was
for
good.
anybody,
Yeah,
but
it was
I am excited to watch it. Anytime Adam Sandler plays a serious role, he is awesome. Like
it's
Uncut
hard,
Gems, I love.
it's like Will Ferrell trying to like be
Yeah.
in like a horror movie, like trying like that. Like it's gonna be funny. But he didn't like just threw funny stuff in there, but it was serious and I loved it.
Well, yeah, he is good. Like he's a very interesting actor because
Mhm.
Uncut Gems was the first movie that I seen of him
Yeah,
where it wasn't like a comedy, and he
Yeah.
was awesome in it.
Mhm.
Awesome. So I'm
Yeah.
excited to see Hustle.
Yep.
But well, going back to the Sixers, like you and I always nail it when it comes to the Sixers team. I mean,
Mhm.
not me when it came to Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
But I think that they need to seriously look themselves in the mirror. They need to realize that anything more than $27 million to James Harden over 2 years. Okay,
Uncut
Adam.
Gems.
Okay, Adam.
Yeah.
Hey, Adam. Wow.
They're Cartiers too. They better be real. But no, dude, I agree.
Yeah, like anything more than $27 million over 2 years for Harden, I'm saying no. If I'm negotiating something less, like maybe you could throw in some bonuses in there for him if he does show up. If we do make the Eastern Conference Finals, if we do make the finals, maybe he could get some bonus in this contract right there. But even guaranteed, dude, like guaranteed, like JJ Redick in that 1 year deal that he signed with us after those first 2 years. I think it was 1 year, $23 million.
That was a shit ton.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And
that wasn't a good season for him. Was that the COVID year?
yes. Yep.
Yeah, that wasn't that great of a season for him.
Like,
He actually did get hurt. He was like playing the Seth Curry. He was off and on the
yeah,
bench.
he,
He was
he, had,
hurt.
he had a bad bubble. He had a bad bubble.
Yeah.
And then he just left. But besides the point, I'm trying to think of every scenario where with Harden we could win, and I just can't see it. I know originally we wanted the poll to steer more towards Sixers, but we couldn't really not talk about the Phillies to start because they just had a 9-game win streak that we needed to talk about. Like we don't always want to be doom and gloom when it comes to this podcast. So we wanted to start with Phillies. We wanted to praise them for their 9-game win streak. We wanted to praise Rob Thompson, the Thomper. But when it comes to the Sixers, we wanted to see what you guys thought when it came to what they're going to do roster-wise, roster reconstruction this season. Are they going to run it back with the same starters and try and rebuild the bench? Or not even rebuild, just build a bench because it was never there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was there in 2017 when Brett Brown was growing his Bombers. When he had the European-style basketball with Irsan and Bellinelli and JJ. And all those guys, and Ben Simmons was the control center of it.
Yep.
Marco Bellinelli had a phenomenal year at 35 years old. Irsan Ilyasova, phenomenal year. Dario Saric, phenomenal year. All led by Ben, and they just couldn't sustain it in the playoffs.
Yep.
So, what do you think? Do you think they're going to run it back with the same starters? And if they do that, do you think James Harden is going to take significantly less money than the $43 million that's offered to him right now? And do you think they're going to be able to build a stable bench? And if they do that, how far do you think they can go?
Damn. What
is your offseason blueprint?
I guess like you would want Harden to opt out of it, of course, and you'd maybe want to give him a deal that's a lot less than $47 million. I guess with incentives too. I think it's just fair because he is ultimately declining the option. But I want to get Bradley Beal, but that also is going to hurt Tyrese Maxey's growth a lot. I think you need a more focus on the bench aspect out of it all. I know you're only going to be playing a 5 to 6 to maybe 7 guys come off your bench during the playoffs, and like you got to find a solid maybe backup center. Like don't go out and
Yeah.
pay a lot of money. Like don't go out. I love Drummond, but Drummond's not going to take a veterans minimum again. That's not happening. So get a center who can shoot free throws and who's pretty durable, I guess. You also need that small forward position. You really don't know what you got with it. With Danny Green going to be out probably for next season as well,
Yeah.
unless you can trade him. But if you're trading him, you're gonna have to get rid of the first pick too. So
They don't care about the picks considering they gave up that many to get rid of Ben.
yeah,
So this team is in a scary position, especially
Mhm.
since your number one guy in Joel Embiid has yet to be able to play a full playoff.
Mhm.
It's that simple. The proof is in the pudding. I mean,
Mhm.
the guy can't stay on the court. And when
Yep.
he's on the court, he's the best player in the world. And nobody's
Yeah.
going to deny that. He is the best player in the world when he is on the court. When he's at 100% and he's just playing his game, he's the best player in the world.
Mhm.
He is light years better than Jokic when
Yep.
he is on the court playing.
Mhm.
And but the fact of the matter is you've built a different rotation year in and year out since 2017. It's time to buckle. Like he's 28. I always say that champions win championships at 28 years old. Ron James, 28 years old. Like that's when you start winning.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. And I really don't know what else to do besides that because I mean, like you could trade Harris, who was probably debatably your best player in the playoffs last season, right?
Yeah.
Um, like you'd have to get rid of Thibault too, because like the blame on this should all be on Elton Brand. Elton Brand gave contracts to Horford, Harris, Simmons, without giving one to Jimmy Butler, right?
Yeah.
So you're giving Harris all this money. You're giving you that Horford deal was a mess. Like you basically just said, all right, here we'll take him for a year, and then here's our first round pick. We'll give you Danny. Like, look, give us Danny Green. That's what we got for that.
Mm-hmm.
So we basically wasted a first round pick there. We wasted a first round pick in the middle process years. We wasted another pick with Markel Fultz. Like it just doesn't stop. I don't see a light at the end of this long tunnel. I
Yeah,
don't.
dude. I mean, it's going to be hard to try and salvage it, just for the sole fact that I think there's no way in hell that James Harden doesn't come back.
Mm-hmm.
If you tell him that, hey, opt out and we'll sign you to a $27 million deal, like, okay, what is that going to do for us? The
Mm-hmm.
dude's been a loser his whole career. All he knows is losing,
Mm-hmm.
and he just has that stigma of just loser mentality.
Mm-hmm.
And you pair that with Joel, who all Joel wants to do is win, and he's going to do anything in his power to do it. That's just a bad combination. And then you pair Harden, you pair that mentality with the mentality of Tyrese and Maxey. That's just going to butt heads. And then you look at Tobias. Tobias plays his heart out every single night, and Tobias Harris has been roasted on this show many times.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact of the matter is, he is 100% effort, 100% hustle. He's going to do what he's got to do to try and win a basketball game.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I just think those three guys, and Tobias, Maxey, and Embiid, I think those are legit championship players if you have that one guy next to them, that one
Mm-hmm.
guy. And James Harden is not him.
Not
He is
that
not
guy.
him.
Yep.
And then if you could go get two solid bench players to match with that core.
Mm-hmm.
Who's to say we're not the Celtics? Because that's really what the Celtics are. I mean, they have those two guys in Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. You pair that with two excellent role players in Robert Williams and Al Horford, and then you pair that with the defensive player of the year in Marcus Smart, and then you look at their bench where they have Grant Williams coming in and out, rotating with Horford and Williams, and then Derek White, who they got at the trade deadline. I mean, that's their 7-man rotation. That's what you need. That's what you need to win in the NBA.
Yep.
And then you even look at the Warriors. The Warriors are built similarly too, where they have those 4 guys that are just it. They have those 4 guys in Steph, Clay, Wiggins, and then Draymond, who's their enforcer. And then you have that 5th rotational starter. And then on that bench, you have 2 guys in Gary Payton Jr. and Jordan Poole or Otto Porter.
Yeah.
Like, that's how you build a championship team. That's what the Sixers need to do. And that's what they've failed to do for 4 straight years.
Yep. I mean, they had, it's crazy because you had so much leverage over, not leverage, I want to say, but like potential. You could have traded for a DeJounte Murray, or I know those necessary, a guy like DeJounte Murray wouldn't be that win now sort of guy because he still has some development in his game. But
yeah, he's just never been, like, I know he's been with the Spurs, but he's never legitimately like contended.
Yeah. But I know you wouldn't have known, but I feel like now, like with Harden, you're just stuck and you lost your potential. Like I know we're living off potential. That's all we've been talking about the last 8 or so years, you know. But at some point, you got to say like, oh, like this really isn't working. Maybe you go and trade Ben Simmons for DeJounte Murray. You see that doesn't work out. Maybe you got to trade the guy. You got to trade Joe. I don't want to say that. I hate saying that. I love Joel Embiid. But like you said, Jimmy, like it's very, very difficult to win when your center is the best on the court all time, at all times.
Yeah. I
You have to
mean,
rely on center to shoot a 3, and he's your best 3-point shooter on the court. Like that's very, it's hard to take it,
the last time where, I mean, I don't think you can count the Spurs because they were just overall Mr. Fundamental.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Tim Duncan, I guess, is the last guy. Like, I don't even know if he was the best player at the time, but the last time a big power forward or a center was the best player on the team and they won the finals, I think that was Dirk in 2011, right?
Yep.
I mean, since then, it's been LeBron, it's been the Warriors, it's been Kawhi, it's been the Spurs, been LeBron again. Like, it's hard to win with a center.
Yep.
And we've been looking for his Robin. I mean, I think his Robin was perfect when it was Jimmy Butler, but they just decided to keep the wrong guys. They decided to keep Ben. They decided to keep Brett. They kept the 2 Bs instead of keeping the A+ and Jimmy Butler.
Yeah. Yep. B-. Now we're B-. And now we're HIV+ positive. Thanks a lot, James.
All right. We appreciate the comments flooding in. Remember, your comments always brought to you by BetUS, which is a leading online sports book that has been in the market for over 25 years. You can bet anywhere in the U.S. on everything. Use this link below in the right on the screen here if you're listening podcast-wise. The link is bit.ly/betus_A2D for 125% sign-up bonus. So make sure you check them out. That's bit.ly/betus_A2D for 125% sign-up bonus. My overall plan, in a perfect world, I obviously don't want Harden here. I would keep Tobias. I would keep Maxey. I would keep Joe, obviously, and I would go out and I would get a Zach LaVine because he is an unrestricted free agent, and I know it's probably not going to happen unless you sign and trade Harden to the Bulls, which I mean I don't know. That could be a legit possibility. You pair Harden with DeRozan, and you pair Harden with Lonzo and Vooch. Like that could be a squad. Maybe you could try and sign and trade that, and then you go out and maybe acquire a TJ Warren in free agency as well, and then all of a sudden your lineup is Zach LaVine, Tyrese Maxey, TJ Warren, Tobias Harris, and Joe. Like I think that's solid. I just don't know if the Bulls would take it.
Yeah, no. And then if you can keep that first round pick, that would be pretty big too. I mean, like you can package that with someone like Thibault and get like Lou Dort. Lou Dort's great.
Lou Dort, yep.
He's pretty much Matisse Thibault with a shot.
Yeah. Now, yeah, I mean, if you want to go try and package like a Matisse and a Furkan and some picks and try and go get Dort, because the Thunder are just hoarding picks. They're not going to do anything with Lou Dort over the next 5 years.
No.
So if you go try and get a Lou Dort for a Matisse and picks, I would love that as well. And then Lou Dort can be your sixth man, honestly.
Exactly.
And have TJ Warren come in as a starter. It'd be perfect. And then you come get a starter, or I mean a backup center, and all of a sudden your bench looks like maybe like a Shake Milton, a Lou Dort, and a top-notch backup center.
Niang. You still got Niang too.
You still got Niang, who's never going to see the court in the Eastern Conference Finals if we ever make it.
No.
Like that. That's another big thing. Like Georges Niang played for a team who basically had two starting lineups game in and game out in the playoffs, and he was the 11th guy. And we got that Utah Jazz slop.
He got the 11th. Here's the 11th man.
I mean, honestly, it's what the Phillies do. I mean, Brad Hand was being passed around last year like, you know what? Juris Familia, his time was up in New York, so we got that. We just get everybody slop. Corey Knebel, he was okay, but that Dodger bullpen was insane, and we got the last guy. We got the slop.
Yeah, that was just sad. No, we're not getting Mitchell. Please stop with that bullshit.
I'd rather Levine than Mitchell. Yo, Ev. All right, Ev. I'm gonna have to remove you, and then you could rejoin. Okay. All right. So we're gonna ride solo for a little bit as Wi-Fi Gate cripples Evan Taylor once more. Wi-Fi wins this one again. I think Evan is now down 3-0 when it comes to the Wi-Fi. When it comes to the Wi-Fi Gate. So he'll obviously be right back. But I see Ed says he wants Mitchell. So you would do a sign and trade for Harden to Salt Lake City. And only problem, no, go town. Yeah, because it's the Mormon state of Utah, right? So to be honest, I'd rather have I love the idea. Like a sign and trade idea of Harden for one of these guys, I think is great. I would love that to happen. I think realistic possibilities would be a Donovan Mitchell because he's unhappy. Welcome back. You're now down 3-0 when it comes to Wi-Fi Gate.
Dude, I'm about to get swept.
No, you look like the Sixers in the bubble.
Yeah. Thanks, Comcast. I like to say you're the Doc Rivers of all communications. You are the blow.
Yeah. So I'm just talking while you're gone. I was just talking about possible sign and trade players, and I just want to see like who you would want the most. So you got Zach LaVine, Donovan Mitchell, Russell Westbrook. Let me go to player options and see who. So you Bradley Beal, who possibly sign and trade, but I don't know if he'll do that. Kyrie Irving is also on a player option. I don't know. I think he is buddy with KD now. Who knows what the vaccine status come next winter, next fall. So you got that. So who did I say so far? So Zach LaVine, Donovan Mitchell, Russell Westbrook, Bradley Beal. I'll throw in Kyrie and John Wall. So there's 6 right there. Who would you want ideally?
First, let me scrap off a few because Russell Westbrook, I like his intangibles. I like that he plays hard all the time, which it really isn't an intangible. But that you got John Wall who hasn't played in ages. I mean that could be a bad thing or it could be a good thing. Not really sure, but who else do you say?
But
Kyrie, no.
just before I rename them, I would 100% have Russell Westbrook over James Harden on this team right now. If it was between those two, Russell Westbrook by a mile. By a mile.
You'd have to rely a lot on Tyrese Maxey to shoot that basketball.
That's fine because I look at the success that guards have had next to Russell Westbrook, like a Reggie Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
And no slight to Reggie Jackson, he's made a solid career.
Would you have Russ possibly coming off the bench, or would that never be a possibility?
I don't think that would ever be able to be a possibility.
No?
Now, if it's a sign, like no, not even in any dimension. But I think you do need a strong 6-man on a team like that.
Yeah.
So
Like I'd like somebody like a Jordan Clarkson or someone like that. Like you definitely have to trade for something like that. But I mean, if the Jazz get rid of Mitchell and they're stuck with who? Who would they be stuck with? Whoever they trade for. Though if they trade with Miami, they're going to get Duncan Robinson, Harrow. Like that team wouldn't really work that well. I don't think.
mhm.
But you could probably go ask for someone like a Clarkson or go ask because I know it sucks to say Furkan's not going to cut it anymore. Shake, Shake wasn't as bad in the playoffs as I thought he was going to be, but he's not like a guy that you would want to say, "Oh yeah, come on, like we're ready for you. Come into the game in the playoffs." No, not really.
Yeah.
But like
I
he,
mean,
but
just another guy that Russell Westbrook played next to, Dennis Schroeder, before he
yeah,
got
yeah.
signed by Atlanta.
We were close to getting him. We were close to getting him during the buyout. We
Yeah,
thought that Houston was going to buy him out, but
but
they
yeah,
didn't.
but he's going to be a free agent this year.
Uh-huh.
Dante DiVincenzo is going to be a restricted free agent. So if the
I like
Kings offer him and the Sixers can match, depending on what he gets. I mean, he's fresh off of a torn ACL. He came back this year, so maybe he won't get paid as much as he necessarily should. I know there was rumors about the Mavericks possibly putting Jalen Brunson on the market to try and just upgrade their team altogether to build a team around Luka because
Yeah.
Jalen Brunson's a solid basketball player, but he can't be the number 2 with Luka if they want to go anywhere.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
Fuck it. Trade for Luca. Give up. You want Maxey? Who you want? Name your price.
it'll definitely have to be Joel, but
Yeah.
neither team will ever do that.
Yeah, no, that'll be a lose-lose situation.
It'll just be a weird, like it never happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, going back to those guys. I mean, we eliminate John Wall, we eliminate Kyrie just because it's just you can't make a trade with the Nets again. I don't think.
No.
Well, yeah, obviously because Harden's not going back there, so Kyrie's out. So then you got Donovan Mitchell, Zach LaVine, Bradley Beal. Those are probably the 3 that would even present any type of chance of getting rid of James Harden.
Mm-hmm. I think I do like Donovan Mitchell. I do like his game, but I feel like he is a baby Russ, or he's a baby Russ and a baby Harden combined. That's what he is.
He's way too inconsistent. I know he has these playoff games where he'll do absolutely nothing in the first half, and then he'll come out in the second half and drop 30. That's just too inconsistent for me.
Yeah. No.
Like I know it doesn't matter, but I just in a perfect world, I want a Kawhi Leonard who's going to play his game from first quarter to fourth quarter and rarely ever go on a cold streak.
Yeah. Yeah, Levine, I think Levine is a solid option because, like, number one, Beal wouldn't get signed and traded to Philly. They wouldn't take Harden like that.
They took
Like if they were
Westbrook.
that desperate to like
I
make
mean,
it in
they
the
took
playoffs,
Westbrook.
they did. Yeah, they did because they're stupid. Maybe we can do that, but I feel like it would be more set. You would definitely see that happening with the Bulls before you'd see it happening with the Wizards because they already have a pretty complete team when you look at it. They have, like you said, they have Lonzo, Vooch, DeRozan, who's come off a great season. And if you give like DeRozan really didn't have any space to play with last season, and he still played really, really well. So I just think that that would be probably the most likely if that was to happen out
Yeah.
of all the other options. But
And also, I don't think Levine's going to get near the money that
Harden,
Harden will get. So you might have to throw in a second player, and a second player I'm willing to throw in is a Kobe White, and he could be your backup point guard. He could be your Derek White that's on the
Yep.
Celtics right now. He could be your not like I'm not saying like level of Derek White or level of Jordan Poole, but he could be that guy.
Yeah,
And he's not
yep,
going to be playing that much anyway with Maxey and Levine here.
yeah. Wait, you said White?
Kobe White, yeah.
Yeah, Kobe White. I thought you said Nicobe White. I was like,
Oh no.
Yeah, he is. He's not bad. He had that good. He had a good few seasons in the beginning. Like he kind of played like what's the other young kid from the Cavs?
Sexton.
Yeah, kind of reminds me of him.
Hmm.
They both have very similar games. I feel like you could definitely use that off the bench. It can either really it can hurt us or it can help us. But I feel like anybody on the bench that's not named Shake Milton or Korkmaz is definitely an upgrade.
Shake Milton's on a team option, by the way, this season. So the Sixers have the option to bring this guy back.
Yeah.
Just so everybody knows.
Do you know how much the option would be? Probably
Yeah, I
like
can
what
tell you
2
right now.
1 million has the last season. He
His
wasn't on big. He
player
wasn't.
option is 1.5 mil.
Wow, that's small.
Yeah.
That's not bad. I mean, yeah, that's not terrible. That's something you can. You
Lou Dort is also on a team option as well.
Yeah. So
And
maybe.
he's only 23. I did not realize he's
Mhm.
that young. He's
Yep.
23 years old and he's 1.3 mil. Shake Milton made more money than Lou Dort last year.
By 20 to by 200K.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, that's sad. That is actually sad. And Ben Simmons made. I don't know how much he's going to make actually. Probably zero.
Yeah. PJ Tucker made 7 million last year. He's going to be on a player option. Patty Mills is on a player option at 6 mil. Connaughton from Milwaukee, he's on a player option with 5 mil. He's probably going to enter free agency.
Mhm.
Bobby Portis, who made 4.4 million last year, he's on a player option.
He would be a great addition on the Sixers. He
Great
would
addition.
he would be like the Mike Scott we thought we had.
Yeah,
Like that's exactly what it'd be. Like he would if Tobias Harris or if you had like I would legitimately like if we had to, I would have him as our 4, put Tobias Harris at 3. I mean, you can flip-flop that because Tobias Harris didn't really play that well on the 3 because he was guarding all these other guys like LeBron and all these other guys during the season he played small forward. We had Al Horford playing power forward. But Bobby Portis, man, wide eye, crazy dude.
yeah.
He,
Championship mentality.
yeah,
Another guy I would like who I don't even know what his contract looks like right now. Grant Williams
hmm
on the Celtics. I think he
yeah,
would be a perfect fit for this
hmm
team. If
yeah,
you were to end up trying to like move on from Tobias, I think you try and make a move with the Celtics. But who knows? If the Celtics win the championship, they probably won't want to get rid of Grant because Williams
yeah.
was a crucial part of the team.
Uh huh.
But if you do end up getting rid of Tobias, I would walk to Boston myself, knock on the door, and say, "Hey, what
Yeah.
do you want for Grant Williams?"
Please, we gave you fucking Tatum basically in a first-round pick.
Mullet Castellanos isn't in the lineup today, so that's going to be the first time all season. Odubel's going to be starting him right. And we'll get to some Phillies talk. I guess we should get into some Phillies. We'll give you like 10 more minutes, and we'll live react to the first few innings, and then we'll pass it off to the Sports Hounds. But let's just wrap up some Sixers talk. What's up, Mark? And Philly Sports Passion says that he would hand in his fan card if we got Russell Westbrook. Philly Sports, I can't not disagree. I can't disagree with you. It's a valid point. Westbrook and Harden have been losers their entire career. I just think we have a better chance at winning with Westbrook rather than Harden. That's it. So, what's up, Mark? So yeah, I think that my diabolical plan for the Sixers team, said it earlier, I'll say it again. Sign and trade Harden to the Bulls, get Zach LaVine and Kobe White for it. I think it works out great for the Bulls because they weren't quite there, and maybe they think that Harden can get them over the hump. You got Harden and DeMar in the backcourt. Like, that's solid. And then you throw that in with Lonzo Ball. You got a 3-guard system back there. That's solid. That's solid for the Bulls. Yeah. And then in return, we get Zach LaVine, who you could pair up with Tyrese Maxey, and you get Kobe White, who could be your first guard coming off the bench. And then you go and try and get a Lou Dort if he opts out, or if the team opts out. If not, you maybe try and trade for him like a Matisse piece for a Lou Dort. He could be your second guy coming off the bench. You maybe try and go get a Bobby Portis. He's on the player option, so he's going to opt out and try and get some money. Maybe you pay him. Then there's your 3 guys coming off the bench. And then you round out the starting lineup with a TJ Warren. All of a sudden, your lineup is Zach LaVine, Tyrese Maxey, TJ Warren, Tobias Harris, Joel Embiid. And then you have Kobe White, you have Lou Dort, and you have Bobby Portis coming off the bench. Like, that's a championship team.
That's not bad at all. Yep.
So hopefully that happens. Hopefully.
Yep. It's not bad.
All right, you got anything else on the Sixers?
No, not really. Like, best hopes to Daryl Morey. Hopefully knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy that hasn't won a champion. Like, he's been close, but he just hasn't gotten over the hump. So he wants to do something. And I know that the mullet guy, Alvarado mullet guy, it says a very valid point. Like, the odds of Morey moving on from Harden is slim to none because they have a weird relationship going on, you know?
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
Jeez.
That's it. We're going to leave it at that. All right. Phillies Talk brought to you by SpecializedPhysicalTherapy.com. Check out our doc, Dr. Paul Vidal at Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC. He has 2 locations in Jersey, one in Burlington and one in Cherry Hill. He is our doc. Make him yours. That is SpecializedPhysicalTherapy.com. All right. In about 7 minutes, going to be first pitch to Philadelphia Phillies playing host to the Miami Marlins. The Phillies obviously 9-1. 9-1 over the last 10 games. They had a great stretch. Their next 8 is 3 with the Marlins, 5 with the Nationals. I think you need to roll off another 6-2 piece. So that would bring you to 15-3 over their last 18 games, which would just be unbelievable.
Amazing. Yeah.
But it should happen. But I think a 6-2 is right there. I would love a sweep against the Marlins. I feel like it's not needed. It's not must. But if you sweep the Marlins and get over your Marlin woes, that is a big deal. And it starts tonight against Nola, or with Nola going against Alcantara, who's just been a thorn in the Phillies' side over the past 5 years. Like, basically his whole career, Alcantara. He just turns into Cy Young when he plays the Phillies.
Yeah. He's him when he plays the Phillies. He
is him.
And the Phillies aren't that guy. Who's
Mark.
pitching tonight?
Alcantara versus Nola.
Nola. Okay.
Mark, I think we get significantly worse than what we are right now. Like more king slop. That's what I see. We'll just get like I don't want to get rid of Toby. Like I know everybody hates on the contract, but there's a way where you can get another max guy in here if you get rid of Harden. Like I think Toby is championship mentality. I think he really is. He has the championship mentality.
Yeah.
I don't want Harrison. Like I know Harrison Barnes was there with the Warriors, but what has he done since he got paid with the Kings? He turned into King Slop.
Yep.
Justin Holiday is what he is. Kobe White, yeah. I mean, I'd much rather have a Zach LaVine piece, a Lou Dort piece, and a TJ Warren piece, and a Bobby Portis piece.
Yep.
So
those are some good pieces.
Yeah. But yeah, going back to the Phillies, I think they do win tonight. Nola's been on fire. Let's see what
been pretty good.
Let's see what the
Pretty sure his ERA was under 2 the last 3 games, maybe. 2 games.
He's been on fire. Go to schedule. So they got Nola versus Alcantara tonight, Eflin versus Rogers tomorrow, and Gibson versus Lopez is going to be tough. I think if they lose any of the games, it's going to be the Wednesday game.
Yeah. Yep.
Dude,
I hope Gibby comes back to form. Like he didn't have that great of a game, and like you were saying, Ranger Suarez yesterday didn't look like he looked like the Suarez we saw like 3 years ago when he was just trash.
Yeah, Gibson's been. I mean, if you look at the numbers, 4.41 ERA doesn't seem too hot, but he has been good. He has been winning games. I mean, he's 4-2, and then you look at the Marlins pitcher come Wednesday, Pablo Lopez. He's been unbelievable. Like his ERA is, I think, low 2s. He's just been great. So that might be a tough day, but I hope they can get over it. I definitely think they win tonight with Nola. I think Eflin can beat up on Trevor. I think this lineup can beat up on Trevor Rogers. So yeah, I think they definitely win the first 2, and then game 3 is going to be up in the air. I want to say 2-1, but I would love a sweep. And then when it comes to the 5-game series against Washington, you got to go 4-1. Have to go 4-1.
Yep.
And that brings you to what? 6-2.
6-2, and what? 26-31.
No, they're at 500 right now. They're 30-30.
30-30. Okay, so yeah, that wouldn't be bad.
So if you go 6-2, you're 4 games above 500.
Yeah. Yep. I don't know why I thought they were.
Well, they were just atrocious this entire year, so I could understand your confusion. That 9-1 record really that 9-1 record really turned them around, and it really brought them back into contention. Like I think they're 3.5 out of that. 2.5 out of that wild card spot, and then 9 out of the Mets, and 9 games out in the middle of June. That's nothing.
Yeah,
that's nothing.
Yep, we were 9 games ahead.
Yeah,
of everybody,
and the Mets collapsed just like we do.
Yep.
Like I know the Mets have been playing out of their minds, but if there is a way, and they will find it. It may be very, very slim, but there is a way, and the Mets will find a way to collapse. Yeah. I'm not saying they won't make the playoffs, but the Mets are a poverty franchise just like the Phillies.
Yeah. Shit. I mean, I feel like I have a little bit more confidence in Miami or the Braves winning it over us too. Like, put some money down on that.
Yeah, I think the Braves may have a strong case.
They've been looking. Have they won
11 in a row, 12 in a row, something? Like during our 9-game win streak, they were always a game. Yeah, they were just quietly just reeling off W's. I think they're at 12 in a row right now.
Wow.
which is just insanity. 11 in a row right now.
Shit.
The Mets have been 5-5 in their last 10. See, they're already going back, but they're still winning. Like they got to 40-22 because they won every single series.
Mm.
The Phillies need to win every series for the next 2 months, in my humble opinion.
No, yeah. Dude, it
3
really
months,
and
honestly.
every game does matter now. I don't want to hear no excuses for the Phillies because every year we lose by a game or 2 games, and I hear the excuse, "Oh, it's only 1 game. There's a lot of season left."
Yeah,
Like
you could say you could.
you're gonna be wishing that game that we lost that we would have won it because we would have been in the playoffs. Like it's
Yeah.
gonna matter.
So games like yesterday, that's going to happen to a team twice a month. Like you
Yeah,
could book that. Every
yeah,
team in the MLB is going to lose like that at least twice a month.
yeah.
It's what you do with the other 23, 24 games.
Yeah. Blown leads, blown saves, like those are the games that really grinded my gears last season. I mean, we had the most one of the top 3 of the most blown saves in MLB history or something like
Yeah, and
that.
I think we hold the other 2
Incredible.
places.
Yeah, and you only missed out by like 2 to 3 games. So it's not like this team they can make the playoffs. It's not really a hard task. Just don't blow it every single time. Please.
Yeah, and that's where the fact of the matter where you're going and first pitch is probably happening right now. I should probably turn on the TV. But the fact of the matter is you need to go get a starting arm and a relieving arm and a center fielder. Pending Moniak's thing. Whatever Moniak is.
I think the Moniak what do we call it?
The Moniak train.
Experiment.
The Moniak mobile has lost its wheels.
Yep. He is stranded in the middle of Kensington right now with no gas, no wheels. His bus is currently on cinder blocks in Kensington, Pennsylvania. There's nowhere to go. But I mean, he's still young, still kind of young. He's not really young, but he was still a first round pick. So maybe you can sway a team saying, "Oh, he still has potential."
Yeah.
And MLB players play till they're like almost 40 years old. So
yeah, if they're good
change
enough,
your
yeah.
environment. Play for the Iron Pigs his whole career as a first round pick. That's sad. And he was having he had a great preseason too.
Yeah, and until he like his I forget the batting coach's name. I'm drawing a blank, but he worked with a lot of these guys, and one of those guys being Moniak, and he really did improve his swing. And then the last game of spring training, gets hit by a pitch and breaks his arm.
Yeah.
So that's gonna mess you up. I mean I played base. I'm not gonna be this guy, but I mean I played baseball up until 8th grade, and when you're 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, and the first time you get hit by that pitch, you see it all the time. Kids start backing away every single time the pitch comes in.
That's what Hoskins did the year after he got hit in the face.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
Even Bryce, dude, like Bryce last year gets hit in the face with a 97-mile-per-hour fastball, and he just eats it. Yeah, he came back a little shaky. That'll mess up your psyche for a little bit. I think Moniak's psyche is messed up right now. Now, hopefully, he can get back into it, and he could get back into the spring training groove. But he's got. I would start him every single day up until August 1st because I think the deadline's August 2nd this year. I would start him every single day until August 1st to give him that opportunity to see if he's that guy. And if he isn't, you need to go get a Brian Reynolds or a Cedric Mullins.
Yep.
So that's
yes,
basically.
It is. Yes, it is.
Indeed. I will be on next week. 2 weeks from now, I will be up in the air because I'll be in Vermont. So
Vermont stream.
Yeah. I don't know how my Wi-Fi is going to be looking come come 2
It
weeks.
can't be worse than mine. God, I do not know if it could be worse.
Yeah. So, first pitch.
Jazz is
fir-
up.
First at
Jazz,
bat.
as far as I'm concerned, Jazz really does own the Phillies franchise.
Well, yeah. Did you just see him messing around? Like him and the Philly Fanatic were having fun. Does that mean Chaz Chisholm to the Phillies come trade deadline?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's give up Harper.
Oh God, I'm gonna have to put you on suspension.
So, what would you think?
It's gonna be a little vacay, Pete.
What do you think we would have to do to trade for someone like maybe pitching wise going into like the trade deadline? Like what? Who would you look at, and who would you look at to trade? And is Hoskins, Bohm, Moniak,
I would
or
say
any other team?
if
Oh,
you are going to try and get one of those guys, I would probably like I would have to look at their minor league system, but I'm assuming like I think I don't think you could trade McAble. I, it depends who you get because you could get a cheap reliever. You could get a reliever that's just on fire from Kansas City this year, or you could get a reliever from Baltimore that's on fire this year, and you can get them for 2 cheap minor league prospects.
yeah.
So I don't think you got to necessarily worry about that aspect if you want to get a reliever. If you want to get a starter, that's when you start talking about the Moniacs, the Reeses, the McAbles, their top catching prospect. That's when you start trading them.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't do it for a reliever. Yeah, Rob, I hear you. I would trade Abel in 5 seconds if that means we're getting a Cedric Mullins or if that means we're getting a Brian Reynolds. And yeah, proven talent is always better than prospects, especially for the sole fact that prospects have done absolutely nothing for this Phillies team. So, like you look around at all these guys that are the key contributors, like Aaron Nola, and who else? Alec Boehm, and Reese Hoskins, Odubel. Like those are the prospects that the Phillies have brought up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Rob, I've been preaching this from the rooftop, and you guys catch Rob Brinkman, catch him in the rant booth every Sunday at All Campus. Remember, All Campus giving 20% off of everything in the store, including hats and shirts to all of their subscribers. So make sure you check out Rob and John in the rant booth every Sunday, and you also check them at the on Sports Hounds right after us. So just stay tuned. Stott is a stud, and when it comes to Ranger, yeah, I think you need to go get another starter and put Ranger in the bullpen. He will. I think he would bring the bullpen to life. He could be your long reliever.
Perfect long reliever.
Yep, he could be your long reliever, and then when you're in a crucial game where you need that 7th inning to be shut down, you could bring him in right then and there. He'll shut it down, in my humble opinion.
I agree.
So Brad Hand's been good. I still think you need another guy like Brad Hand. Corey Knebel, we'll see what it is, but you need a reliever, you need a starter, and you need a center fielder. That's it. And I would trade McAble for the right guy, for a big name. Just not trading him for a Hector Neris, per se, for a lack of a better name, but like a guy like a Hector Neris. I'm not doing that for McAble.
Yeah, no.
Nola gets a quick 2 outs. Jorge Soler is up right now. Hey, if the Marlins start tanking, I would grab Jorge Soler in a second.
Oh, yeah, for sure. McAble.
Who are I need to start doing some research on the Phillies' top prospects.
Error cannot find.
They do not exist.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. So they got Andrew Painter, who pitches gas, dude.
Mhm.
Mick Abel, Johan Rojas, who's in the outfield. Ohope, however you
Yep.
say his last name, is the catcher. And then Hans Cruz. And that's really it. I mean, nobody else is really worth mentioning.
Yeah. Yeah. So Painter is he's
He's only
I
19
said
years
it.
old.
Yeah, he's extremely young,
Yeah,
but
6'7",
he's huge.
215.
He's huge.
Yeah.
You got I don't even know. That's like a what power forward as a
Can
pitcher.
he play power forward?
You
Can
you
can he come
basically
off the bench?
B-ball Paul throwing the ball for you. Yeah, he's a young dude. They have all these ETAs like next 2025, 2024.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're all big dudes like
They say
Jordan
they say
Bears.
the catcher who's in AA right now, they say his ETA is going to be 2022. Now I don't see that. Maybe.
Yeah. Who Logan?
Yeah.
Logan Hope.
Mm-hmm.
Hope. The hell. Yeah, he was drafted in 2018. He was drafted 4 or 5 years ago almost. So, I mean,
Yeah. So in
maybe he can play like first base or something. If we trade Hoskins.
He's batting 287 right now, 402 on base percentage, 50 hits, 38 runs,
Mm-hmm.
13 home runs, and 37 RBIs, 26 walks, only 34 strikeouts.
Wow. There's a lot of pitchers on there too.
Oh yeah,
On the top 30.
Yeah. Last year in Lehigh Valley, he did struggle. He only played 6 games, so that's not really a big sample size.
Who
But
was
last
it?
year in Lehigh Valley, the catcher,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
he batted 190.
Oh.
He had 4 hits and 21 at bats, 1 home run, 3 RBI. In Reading, he was 296 in 54 at bats, 3 home runs, 7 RBI. So I still think you need to give him a little bit of time before you even consider bringing him up. Let's bring him back to Lehigh Valley because last year he was struggling. So. Shohei. He's probably going to get $600 million.
Yeah, he might be the most paid player.
I think Trout was 10 years, 500 mil.
500, some like close to like Mahomes money.
Yeah, Shohei actually may get $600 million.
Yeah,
that is insanity.
he really is the new face of baseball. Like once all these other older guys, like no, he is now. I think Aaron Judge. You can throw Aaron Judge up there.
Like it would be Tatis, Trout, Soto, Acuna, Harper.
Acuna isn't really a big, like he's not globally known like Soto and Tatis. You know, like he's not really up there, but he's a good player.
Yeah, but I'm just saying like the faces of MLB. It would be Trout, Harper, Shohei. I think Acuna is on that list. We could hate him all we want, but I think he is there. Soto. Yeah.
DeGrom. Pitchers really don't get that love like that. Unless they're like...
I'll tell you one thing. I think Trey Turner is going to be a free agent next year. I would jump on that in a heartbeat.
He plays what? What position?
Shortstop or second base?
Yeah, I think I have him on my fantasy. Yeah, I hope we do get a pitcher though. I don't know. Like I'm not big. I can see why people don't pay pitchers like they pay like guys who go out and hit the balls every night. Like these guys that are pitching only pitch every few times, or
Mhm.
they pitch. Like, you know what I'm talking about? They're not everyday players.
Yeah.
So you're not going to go and throw them all that money to play like a quarter of the games. You know,
Yeah, I hear you, dude. So Gene Segura is going to be a free agent next year. He's making $17 million this year.
mhm.
Also, Didi Gregorius is also going to be a free agent. He's making $15 million this year. So you're spending $32 million on those two guys.
Wow.
And next year, Trey Turner's projected market value is going to be 30 mil. So if you're telling me that you're willing to spend $32 million on Gene Segura and Didi this year, don't give me the sob story that you're going to have to pay this guy for 8 to 10 years, $30 million. I don't care. It's win now mode. John Middleton, you're the one that allowed Clentak to do this heinous act to this organization for that many years. It's time for you to make up for it. I am so down with the Trey Turner. And it seems like Evan Taylor just got swept by his Wi-Fi. Evan, I'm sorry. Come back when it's good. Bryce Harper is not going to be a free agent, David. Matt Veerling is playing third base tonight, which is insanity.
Dude, it's funny.
You just got swept.
I know. It's funny because I heard you talking and I was talking too. I was like, no, I didn't. I'm still here. And you're like, well, I guess he got swept. I'm like,
so you heard everything.
They're fixing whatever the issue is. They're fixing it. They've been fixing it last week. So
yeah, that's what the Sixers have been saying about their roster.
Comcast is one of the losers of the week.
But yeah, what do you think? I mean, obviously, you probably would love the idea of Trey Turner coming here, playing second base with Bryson Stott next to him.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you still got Gene. Do you know is Gene on his last year?
Yeah, Gene and Didi are going to be
free agents. Okay, yeah.
Right now they're making a combined 32 mil this year.
Yeah. And you got other guys that are ending their contracts next season. But I don't know. I feel like you need to go another starting pitcher.
You can still do that. You can still do that. Hey, who's to say Andrew Painter just comes out of doesn't come out of nowhere?
Yeah.
Or Mick Abel comes out of nowhere.
Now, I'm about to DM on Instagram and say, yo, you better talk to somebody. You better talk to somebody in the front office. Tell them the Flight Zone sent you.
Jesus, JT Realmuto is just stinking it up. 0-1 pitch. You swing at a ball that's at your hands. It's like you can't make it up. Like, what is happening? I don't understand what happened to him.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't always this bad.
Wow.
All right, let's get into some winners and losers. Winners and losers brought to you by by EXP Realty. Yep, that was right.
Mm-hmm.
Looking to buy or sell a home, looking for a change in career brokerage, that is okay. Contact Alan Foy of EXP Realty LLC at 302-682-8820 or visit him at alan.foy@exprealty.com. That is exprealty.com. Check them out today. Also brought to you by Manscaped. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code A2D at manscaped.com. That is 20% off plus free shipping with the code at A2D at manscaped.com. It's time to throw out your old hygiene habits and upgrade your life. Upgrade your life, Daryl Morey. Move on with the James Harden experiment. It's not going to work. Visit manscaped.com and use that promo code A2D.
Yep.
Also, I have seen some new faces in our chat recently. Become a member. They come with great perks. It's only $9.99 a month, and the perks include appearances on the shows whenever you want, members-only streams, shout-outs, and, of course, you're going to get your money back from our professional guys, Nate Moss of Money Pot Podcast and Willie Vegas of A2D, the flagship. So become a member now, and you will win your money back with the betting tips from these two gentlemen.
Mm-hmm. And Jimmy. Jimmy's a betting man, too.
Every other month I am.
Successful, maybe.
June is a cold month.
That's facts.
But yeah, Troy, I don't want to say I'm over it, but it's getting old. And once we start having these important games, and if he's still playing like this, I may lose my mind. JT Realmuto needs to step it up. He is my loser of the week, of the weekend, because he didn't really show up during the 9-game win streak. During the 13-2 just colossal failure yesterday, he decides to go 4 for 5 or 3 for 4 or whatever it was. And the sole at bat where he did get out was a bases loaded strikeout. Or, I'm sorry. A bases loaded strikeout with 2 outs.
Strikeout. Exactly, yeah.
That was his only out of the day when you were down 3-0 in the 4th?
Yep. Early.
But then he decides to get a hit when it doesn't even matter.
It could have literally been a momentum changer if he had scored.
All you need to do is hit a grounder through a hole.
Yep.
And you get 2 runs in. And all of a sudden, it's a 1-run game.
Yep. Momentum plays a huge role in those games where you lose by 13. Like, early momentum shifts can mean a shit ton. Because you saw that. And I feel like once the Phillies got smacked in that first inning by 3, and they'll end up scoring, 1, like 2 innings later?
Mm-hmm.
They could have scored like 2 or 3. That was really, like, I saw it. I was like, this game might be over. They got slapped. Like, I didn't want to say it would be over because they did come back. Those 12 games or 8 to 9 games before, but it's just, I don't know. But I do still have the Phillies as a winner. I do think that unprecedented change in the manager spot was needed, obviously, but I feel like Thompson has filled in great. I'm not going to complain. One, I'll take 9-1. I'll go 9-1 again. Doesn't matter. I won't be upset.
Keep going 9-1 the rest of the season, and
that's
we're
fine.
the first seed in the NL.
I don't mind that.
Yeah, you keep chipping away 8 games at a time. That's gonna get you to 110 wins real quick.
Oh yeah.
Who do I got as a winner? I'll give you another loser. The Cleveland Browns and Deshaun Watson, and even Houston Texans. I don't know if we touched base on it last week. I don't think we did, but it's just a terrible. Like, give that guy guaranteed money in the middle of all of that. Like, are you insane, Cleveland? And then Texans hiding it, setting it up, and then hiding allegations that you were involved at all, and pretending like you had no idea. And then Deshaun Watson in general. 66 massage parlors in how many months, man?
Like 3 months, was it?
It is insanity.
Yeah. This guy just likes to be rubbed. I don't know.
It's just terrible. I mean, he obviously had bad intentions. If you go to 66 different masseuses in 3 months, you have bad intentions.
And when you got Mia Khalifa in your apartment with you with him,
that's a precursor. Like, the Cleveland Browns should have seen that video before they gave him $250 guaranteed dollars.
And the laugh of the week is Baker Mayfield. Baker's probably laughing. They're probably like, "Oh, Baker, like, we're gonna need." Nah, sorry.
Dude, he might be another like
I should get my guaranteed money and leave.
Honestly, dude, he might be a loser too for saying that he'll
Well,
never
he
play.
is going to be a loser, but
like, what has he done since he won the Heisman?
He's going to get guaranteed money and barely play.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, dude, you're in the NFL. You're getting paid a decent amount of money to play the sport you love, to play the sport that a lot of people in this country dream to play their entire lives, like their entire childhood.
Would you say he's pulling a Ben Simmons if he doesn't play? Because the real reason why he's playing is because he was viewed as a scapegoat last season.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess it is comparable, but the fact of the matter is, dude, what have you done in the NFL to have the audacity to say that you're not going to play another game for a certain team? You're not Tom Brady.
Yeah, that's true.
You're not Aaron Rodgers. Like, the entitlement that some of these athletes have is just mind-boggling to me.
No,
just absolutely, like, I will never understand that type of entitlement that these people think they deserve.
I totally
they deserve anything. You're getting paid millions of dollars to play the sport you love.
I would
hang on. That is when shut up and dribble comes into a fact. When you start bitching and moaning about contract situations, when you start bitching and moaning about where you're playing, dude, shut up and take your freaking millions. I'm all for athletes having their voices and voicing their opinions on manners that every human being, every American says and does. They all have a right to their opinion, and they all have a right to voice it. But when it comes to bitching and moaning about your contract situation or bitching and moaning about where you want to play as an athlete, that's when I'll say shut up and dribble, because that's just atrocious. You're getting paid millions of dollars to play a sport that you supposedly love, that any kid would love to do in America these days.
Yep.
And you're going to say you're never going to play for another team again. Dude, you're a quarterback for an NFL football team. Shut up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Loser. And I was a Baker guy. I was. And I felt bad for him in a way. But after all that happened and he said he's not going to play, that's just atrocious. Absolutely atrocious.
Yeah.
All right,
I just think it is funny though. I don't know. I think it's funny, but like, I know he doesn't have the facilities to say stuff like that, but shit, I'd be kind of mad if they literally just said, like, we're going to get this guy and we're still going to leave you on our roster. I mean, I wouldn't be complaining. I'll be a backup. Shit.
Yeah.
I'll be
it's the best job in the country, in the world, being a backup quarterback.
Yeah.
You get to watch football front and center and get paid millions of dollars to do it.
And you get paid more than any other backup. So,
yeah. And then you have the off chance of becoming a Nick Foles.
Yep.
So, all right, we got Sports Hounds just went live. So check them out. We will be back next Monday. Actually, I will be pending because my brother's graduating high school next Monday too. So we'll see. We'll see. All right. We'll see if we could get some loops and bounds to get on the air. Talk some Phillies with you. Talk some more Sixers. Talk some Eagles, obviously. But yeah, fun episode. Remember, Flight Zone always brought to you by FanUp. FanUp, best way to enjoy fantasy sports, daily NBA contests, and more. Win great prizes. Sign up today. Sign up right now so that you could submit a lineup for the game tonight. Big Game 5. Use the promo code A2D for 5,000 bonus points. That is a $50 value. FanUp.app. He's Evan Taylor. I'm Jimmy Rodweller. Go tune into the Sports Hounds. They are live right now. Have a great rest of your week.